Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the New England Patriots after they made a bunch of moves in NFL free agency. Even though the NFL free agency date hasn't begun, they are already making moves in agreement to take this team to the next level. But before getting into that topic, question for those of you viewing, comment below. This is an opinionated question. Who is your all-time favorite New England Patriots player outside of Tom Brady? So you can expand it to whoever you want. Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, back to Brady's early days with Deion Branch. Technically, you could pick Randy Moss, Drew Bledsoe before Tom Brady. Comment below whoever your favorite or whoever you think is the greatest New England Patriots all time outside of Tom Brady. But now, getting into this topic, made some moves today. New England Patriots last year finished 7-9, had a bunch of mishaps, had a couple guys sit out due to COVID, that being Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung. Pretty two important pieces to that New England defense. And then we know Cam Newton had some COVID issues, and really 7-9 is not a bad season compared to what, given the circumstances that the Patriots had to face with COVID, with the quarterback being in a new system, with not all your players being healthy, etc. But now is a new offseason and a new season for the Patriots to look forward to. Like I said, 7-9 is not bad. And with these new moves, signing Jonnu Smith, the tight end from the Tennessee Titans, that is a big move to give Cam Newton a very good safety blanket, a great red zone target, great hands to rely on. Cam Newton needed a good receiver in the receiving core. We will get Julian Edelman back. You have N'Keal Harry, who will hopefully develop a little more, but Jonnu Smith is going to be a huge component to this offense. We know Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels love their Patriots. And then, of course, on the defensive side, they made a couple of moves. Matt Judon, linebacker from the Baltimore Ravens. This is a huge move for the New England Patriots. They need a position to really step up there. Obviously, Dante Hightower coming back would make the front seven a lot better. But now that you have Matt Judon next to him and helping him out, this is going to be huge for the Patriots. And then you also signed Stefan Gilmore, a pretty big nose tackle and run stopper and pass rusher for the New England Patriots, who they got from the Miami Dolphins. And then finally, Jalen Mills, a very athletic safety from the Philadelphia Eagles, who really didn't live up to what the Eagles were hoping. But I think in a New England Patriots defense, all three of these guys are really going to go and reach their max potential. They got Matt Patricia back, even though he didn't have any great days in Detroit, and I mean he didn't have any really when he was with the New England Patriots. One of the best defenses in the NFL. And really, you get them back together, Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick. This is going to be a very good team with these new players. You got to figure, looking at their defense right now, you have Stefan Gilmore. When healthy, he was the best defensive player of the year in 2019 and the best corner in the game. So when healthy, I don't know if he'll come back to that number one spot, but I still think he'll be top 10 and even top 5 at his position. You'll get Patrick Chung back, a great safety. Devin Mccordy, his brother Jason McCourty. Jason McCourty is a free agent, but even if they lose him, they just signed Jalen Mills, who won't be an exact fill-in, but still, it's not like you're leaving James McCourty and not doing anything in that secondary. So that is a pretty solid secondary in the Patriots defense. And then looking at that front seven, like I said, you're getting Matt Judon, you got Dante Hightower, and really, I don't know, with the Patriots, there's not like a whole lot of holes on that defense by any means, in my opinion. If there's anything at the pass rush, Dante Hightower is there to fill in the linebacker position and be the captain of that defense and fill out the front seven. And now the pass rush is going to be upgraded with Stefan Gilmore and Matt Judon. This Patriots defense is taking a huge upgrade. The offense will only get better. I really hope, for the Patriots' sake, not a Patriots fan, but for their sake, they re-sign Joe Thuney, their offensive guard. He's probably, I don't know if I'd say he's their best offensive lineman, but their offensive line is great in general, but really he holds them together in that interior line with pass blocking. Not the greatest run blocker, but he's still a viable guard by any means. He's probably one of the top offensive linemen in free agency outside Trent Williams. And Brandon Scherf from the Washington football team got franchise tags, so he's not going anywhere. So Joe Thuney's arguably the first or second best offensive lineman in free agency. I hope the Patriots keep them for their sake. So with Cam Newton, who has a year under his belt with the New England Patriots, a solid offensive line, a run game that is developing. James White will be a free agent. However, he and the Patriots have gotten along well. They have a good chemistry. Bill Belichick's got a great game plan for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets re-signed. You got Sony Michel, Damian Harris. It is developing. It's not like you're not going to get Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey type of runs, but it's still a solid run game that the Patriots can work with. Receivers, Jonnu Smith, that's already addressing it. Julian Edelman, he will be back. N'Keal Harry, he's only getting better. I would like to see them get one more receiver, maybe Kenny Galladay, or in the NFL draft, having the 15th overall. Maybe you get lucky and a Devontae Smith or a Jalen Waddle falls in your lap at 15th, or maybe you consider trading up. I seriously think if you have a Patriots team that has a Julian Edelman, a great wideout in Devontae Smith, a great tight end in Jonnu Smith, and then N'Keal Harry, who's developing. Cam Newton has some weapons, and when he had 0 last year, I seriously think this New England Patriots team has a shot at the playoffs, and they even have a shot at the AFC East. Everything's going to come back to how can Cam Newton perform. He was pretty good last year pre-COVID statistically throughout the season. I'm not going to candy coat it. He was awful. It's like interceptions were like doubled or tripled of how many touchdowns he threw, if not 4 or 5 times. He ran for a bunch of touchdowns, but overall, statistically, he was not great last year. And I'm really not asking Cam to be his MVP Carolina Panther Cam anymore. Just be the guy the potential we could be. Be 75% of what you were your MVP year. And this is a good enough team that could go to the playoffs, like I said, with the receiving core that has Julian Edelman, has N'Keal Harry, has Jonnu Smith, and I think they will add someone else. Will there be Corey Davis from the Titans, who already got Jonnu? Maybe could convince his buddy from the Titans and Corey Davis. Maybe you could look at Adam Humphries. He was another guy from the Titans that might be cheap, and we know Bill Belichick likes his short white slot receivers. There's Juju Smith. I highly doubt that's going to be an option. Kenny Galladay would be at the top of my radar for the New England Patriots, and if outside of him, I would probably go with Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle if you could get lucky at 15th overall, and even if you can't, go defense or go offensive line at 15th. There's a lot of options for them having one of the top picks in the NFL draft. Not the greatest, but pretty good for the Patriots in the past 20 years. Probably one of the best picks they've had for sure. So really, there's not a whole amount of holes on this Patriots team. I mean, they were at 7-9 last year with a lot of injuries, a lot of COVID problems, a lot of problems in general. Really, all this year is a lot of that will get fixed, and they will be even better. If I had to put money on the line, I seriously think this Patriots team could make the playoffs. Bill Belichick, he's not gonna. It's obvious that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Tom Brady won the divorce or breakup, whatever you want to call it, but I do think Bill Belichick has a chip on his shoulder. It's impossible not to, and at least wants to show he could get to the playoffs without Brady, and I think he can. And if Cam is even a decent quarterback, I think they will. Everything will rely on Cam. He's gotten the weapons. He still needs another receiver. Jonnu Smith is not enough to take them to the playoffs, but I think Matt Judon being back on the defense, Patrick Chung being back, their new guy, and Devon Godshaw, along with Matt Judon. I said he's back, but they just got him. And then Patrick Chung as well, the McCordy brothers, if they sign Jason, and if Stefan Gilmore, his same self. This is one of the best defenses in the NFL if it can all click. Like I said, Matt Patricia's back. I seriously think this team will make the playoffs. If I had to pick a statement of yes or no, I do think I'd have to say yes. A lot of that is going to be a gamble because of Cam Newton. We don't know how he is, but I have faith in him, and I think they will get him the little bit of help he needs that is left. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think they'll make the playoffs? Do you think the moves they're making is on the right track, and there's still more to go? In my opinion, the Patriots and Bill Belichick is not done yet, but let me know, like I said, down below in the comments. And like I said earlier, comment your favorite Patriots player all time outside of Tom Brady. Thanks for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.